who had been tracking the smoke of the burning wagon from miles away, was already close. She didn't hear the crunch of heavy boots in the snow, didn't hear the deep exhale of a horse coming to a halt, didn't hear the man drop to his knees beside her, his breath harsh with fear the moment he saw her collapsed shape. What she did hear, right before she drifted into darkness, was a low, rugged voice saying her name, even though she had never told it to him, even though she didn't know him at all. But somehow he spoke it with the certainty of a man who'd been searching for her his entire life. The cabin's fire crackled with a low, steady warmth, casting flickers of gold along the rough-hewn walls as the storm raged outside. Yet the cowboy barely felt the heat, because all his focus was on the woman lying on his bed, pale beneath the thick quilts he had wrapped her in, her breaths shallow but steady now, thanks to the warmth and the broth he had coaxed her to swallow little by little, while the baby slept against his chest bundled in fur, breathing softly against the beat of his heart. He had carried them both through the blizzard like a man possessed, driven by something he couldn't explain, something fierce, something righteous, something that struck him, deeper than any duty or instinct. Because the moment he had seen her, cradling that infant against the tree, shielding it with her own wounded body, something inside him had changed, snapping awake after years locked in silence. He moved now with a quiet care that didn't match the world's image of him. A solitary cowboy with a reputation for being hard, dangerous, impossible to reach. A man who lived alone at the edge of the frontier because life had taught him lost too early and too brutally. But when he looked at her, this stranger with courage carved into every exhausted line of her face, he felt something stir that he thought had died long ago. He set the baby gently in a basket lined with pelts, checking twice that it was warm enough, then returned to her side, dipping a cloth into warm water and brushing it across her forehead. Her eyelashes fluttered just barely, a fragile sign of life that pulled him closer. "You're safe now," he murmured, even though she was still unconscious. "You and the little one. You're safe here." Outside, the wind howled, rattling the window shutters. But inside the cabin the world was still, wrapped in the soft glow of firelight, and the unspoken promise that danger had been held back for now. He checked her bandaged shoulder, satisfied that the bleeding had stopped. Though he hated how cold her skin still felt, she had given everything she had to protect a child that wasn't even hers. That thought alone made his jaw clench, with a mixture of awe and fury. Fury at the men who had attacked her wagon, fury at the cruelty that haunted the frontier, fury at the idea that she had nearly died alone out there. He had seen the tracks, the riders who had chased her into the